Mangwanani mwalelepo vukenjani klekwa savana Africa. Welcome to Africa Good Morning, the news and current affairs show bringing you everything you need to know happening on the African continent and beyond. You are joined by Ashwin Bedi. Today is Tuesday, the 19th of November, and these are some of the stories that we are looking at. Senegal's radical government claims large victory in legislative polls. Plastic waste chokes Congo dam, causing widespread power cuts. And Gabon approves law allowing junta leader to contest elections. Our correspondents in Zambia and Botswana, Sichula and Rorisang Mogojwe, will deliver the latest news stories from their respective countries as well. Do watch Africa Good Morning on DSTV 285, GOTV 25 in Namibia. Stream the show on oneup2.com and Network Media Hub on YouTube. Top stories shortly.
As the holiday season draws near, ShopRite and Synergy Chatbot are bringing the Christmas spirit to you. Watch out for Santa's wish list and buy your favorite newspaper on Monday the 18th of November to send your wish list to Santa.
Getting into our top stories today, the Senegalese government has claimed victory in Sunday's parliamentary elections, with most of the votes already counted. It said the ruling party PASTEF had won with a large majority. A victory for PASTEF would give President Bassirou Diomaye Faye a strong mandate to implement the radical agenda of the economic and social reform on which he was elected in March. Former Prime Minister Amadou Ba and Dakar's Mayor Barthélémy Diaz, who were heading opposition coalitions, conceded as votes were still being counted. The vote was conducted peacefully across the country on Sunday, although there were sporadic clashes between supporters of different parties in the run-up to the elections. PASTEF has not said how many seats it has won. It needs 83 for majority in the 165-seat National Assembly. Faye and his Prime Minister Ousmane Sonko had struggled to get their reforms passed in recent months in the opposition-dominated parliament. Faye appointed Sonko, his political mentor, who was barred from running for the presidency, as his prime minister soon after he became president. The pair campaigned on a promise of radical change with an Afrocentric and nationalist agenda, promising to reset Senegal's relationship with France, the country's former colonial power. President Faye, Africa's youngest elected leader aged 44, promised economic reform, social justice, and a focus on anti-corruption, which resonated with many young people. A tide of plastic waste flowing into a major hydroelectric dam in eastern Congo is causing regular power cuts in several major cities, creating a challenge that local authorities are trying to solve. The Ruzizi Dam, located at the south end of Lake Kivu, which borders Rwanda, supplies the city of Bukavu and others with electricity, and the power outages are hurting local business. The problem is linked to the growing use of plastics, coupled with a lack of waste collection in the region. Heavy rainfall causes waste to flow down from the mountainous terrain to the lake, where it collects and blocks the machinery. Didier Kabi, the provincial minister of environment and green economy, is among those working to find a solution. He told Reuters in an interview that requiring households to join a waste collection organization could help stop plastic from accumulating in the lake. This will enable us to what extent everyone needs to collect their own waste at household level, he said. Surface level cleaning isn't enough as the waste accumulates to a depth of 14 meters, with divers required to clean the riverbed to prevent turbine blockages. And an overwhelming majority of Gabonese people have voted for a new constitution, military authorities say, in a move that marks a new phase for the country following last year's coup. Provisional results showed 92% of voters backed the new constitution, according to the country's electoral body. The outcome sets the stage for transition to civilian rule, although critics say it is designed to allow coup leader Brice Oligui Nguema to remain in power. Nguema is yet to openly say whether he will run in the election. Voter turnout was estimated at 54%, according to the Committee for the Transition and Restoration of Institutions. There were no serious incidents reported during Saturday's vote. The final results will be announced by the Constitutional Court. As he voted, the military leader hailed the referendum as a great step forward, adding that Gabonese were coming to vote in a transparent fashion. Prior to the vote, the transitional authorities described it as a crucial step towards the return to constitutional order in the oil-rich country. The referendum paves the way for the holding of elections tentatively scheduled for August next year, 2 years after Nguema took power to topple President Ali Bongo Ondimba, whose family had ruled the country for decades. Stay with Africa Good Morning, because after the break, we'll be talking to Mike Sichula about the latest news stories in Zambia.
Welcome to Namibia, where adventure meets tranquility. With Enjoy, you have access to a wide range of accommodations to suit every traveler's taste and budget. Experience the finest dining and hospitality Namibia has to offer. Booking your dream accommodation is just a few clicks away with Enjoy. Join thousands of happy travelers who have trusted Enjoy for their Namibian getaway. Your gateway to unforgettable Namibian adventures. Visit us today at enjoy.my.na.
All right, let's talk to Mike Sichula, who is in Zambia. Mike, Moribwanji.
Nirebuino Moribwanji, Africa, good morning to our dear viewers.
Africa, good morning indeed. Now, police in southern Zambia have arrested 3 fake whiskey brewers, and among them, military personnel.
Yes, quite a sad story when you bring in the aspect of a military personnel being involved in an illegal activity. So 3 people, who include a Zambia National Service officer, have been apprehended in Mazapoka district, southern Zambia, in connection with the production of fake whiskey. So Southern Province Police Commanding Officer Ausensho Daka explained that the suspects were apprehended in Nakambala compound on Saturday. Mr. Daka says this was after, during patrols following when police received a tip that there were people producing fake beer, namely First Choice whiskey. Police, during the operation, recovered 20 boxes of the said whiskey, 3 sacks of empty bottles of fake choice whiskey, as well as other empty blanks of other beers that these people were manufacturing. And if you may recall, we have reported on this show how some people have died after consuming beer that has not been manufactured in a suitable environment.
Wow, what a truly sad story. Mike, now in your next story, Zimbabwe and Zambia are meeting for the Energy Summit, and this is to discuss investment in renewable energy sources. Tell us more.
Yeah, so Zambia, as you know, shares the man-made Kariba Dam, which produces electricity for the 2 countries. And this Kariba Dam has had some challenges in the past in terms of water depleting, leading to electricity deficit for the 2 countries. So Zambia and Zimbabwe have convened in Kariba town for Energy Project Summit. The summit is running from the 18th to 21st November 2024 to address urgent call for investments in renewable energy sources and grid modernization. So one of the participants, who is Zambia's energy expert, Johnston Chikwanda, has emphasized that the summit is focusing on showcasing progress on stored energy projects for the two countries. Then Dr. Chikwanda also added that the summit is addressing the interconnected challenges between Zambia and Zimbabwe, and also explain progress on various areas of cooperations in terms of energy between the two neighboring nations.
We certainly hope that it will literally be fruitful. Now, former Defense Permanent Secretary has forfeited to a state a farm valued $2.5 million US dollars, money suspected to have been stolen. Just clarify that one for us.
Yeah, so the Economic and Financial Crimes Court, which is a newly created court in Zambia by the administration of President Hakainde Hichilema, has been pursuing mostly individuals who served in the previous administration of President Edgar Lungu. So the court forfeited to the state Simonga Farm, sitting on 1,227 hectares in Chikankata district, which is in southern Zambia. That was acquired by former Defense Permanent Secretary Stadi Mwale. The farm, which has a labor force of 24 workers, is stocked with about 400 heads of cattle, 168 goats, and has got a field of horticulture. So Mr. Mwale is said to have corruptly acquired Simonga Farm in 2019 at a purchase price of $2.5 million, using funds suspected to be proceeds of crime. So the funds for purchasing the farm, according to the court, were acquired as payment or inducement for Mr. Mwale to facilitate for the awarding of financing contract to a company for the supply of goods at the cost of $47 million, the Ministry of Defense, when he was in charge. So this farm is just one of the farms that the state has grabbed from individuals who have served in the previous administration. One of the other victims in this fashion is the daughter to President Edgar Lungu, Tasira Lungu, who has also forfeited to the state a farm situated in eastern Zambia.
All right, Mike, now in the last of your stories, we move over to sports as Zambia will today face Sierra Leone in their final Group G match in Liberia. Of course, I know that Zambia already qualified for the Africa Cup of Nations. Kuchalo.
Yeah, Zambia is indeed, Kuchalo, like to put it. So, Chipolopolo coach has since urged his Chipolopolo boys to end their Africa Cup of Nations qualifying campaign on a high note when they face Sierra Leone today in Liberia. So, as you know, last week, Zambia, the Chipolopolo boys delivered what many people are saying a perfect 60th and independence anniversary gift to Zambians with the qualifications to the AFCON that will be held in Morocco 2025. So Kennedy Msonda goal was proved to be the difference, as the African champions Ivory Coast did not have any response to the rampaging Chipolopolo boys at Ndola's Levi Manawasa Stadium. So Zambia currently is topping Group G with 10 points, while Ivory Coast is on 9. Then Sierra Leone is third with 5 points, and tail enders Chad with 3 points. So this match is like Zambia just wants to ensure that they finish on top of Group G. Then also, Liu said that Zambia has qualified, and we are in Zambia as well. We are proud to see that Zimbabwe has qualified to the Africa Cup of Nations following a ban, and it is good that the two neighboring nations will be at the Africa Cup of Nations next year.
Yes, indeed. We certainly look forward to the representation from both sides of Victoria Falls. Thank you very much, Mike, for bringing us the news stories from Zambia.
Thank you very much. Africa, good morning. It is Zambia, Kucharo, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. Have a blessed day. Thank you.
We love it, Kuchalo, indeed. Stay with Africa Good Morning, because after the break, we received stories from our correspondent in Botswana, Rorisang Mogojwe, who couldn't join us this morning, but has certainly delivered the news. So in Botswana, President Duma Boko is set to deliver his highly anticipated inaugural State of the Nation address this afternoon at a time when Botswana is grappling with significant economic challenges. Now, the country's economy, heavily reliant on diamonds, is underperforming, causing widespread concerns about government cash flow as well as unemployment. In his address, President Boko is expected to outline the nation's current difficulties, highlight the administration's achievements since taking office, and share strategies to address these pressing issues. Now, Boko is also anticipated to shed light on the feasibility of his party's ambitions manifesto promises, detailing which goals will be prioritized in the short, medium, and long term. Last week, Boko painted a grim picture of the economic landscape, describing it as more dire than initially understood. Vice President Ndaba Kgaolate echoed these sentiments, emphasizing the seriousness of the financial situation. Now, to address the crisis, Duma Boko has committed to economic reforms, appointing Kgaolate as the Minister of Finance to spearhead efforts to revive economic growth. At a recent press conference, Boko expressed confidence in Kgaolate's ability to tackle the country's challenges, including high unemployment and a sluggish diamond market. Despite the grim outlook, Boko has reassured the Botswana of his administration's readiness to confront these challenges and set Botswana on a path to recovery. His State of the Nation address is expected to provide clarity on how the government plans to stabilize the economy and restore public confidence. Now, in the other of Rorisang Mogojwe stories from Botswana, the Ministry of Health there has confirmed the detection of a single case of Omicron XCC subvariant of COVID-19 in Botswana. The case was identified through routine genomic sequencing at the beginning of November 2024. This subvariant has already been reported in 43 other countries. According to the ministry, the individual in question was a tourist who has since been transferred to South Africa for further medical care. Investigations and contact tracing conducted by health authorities has not revealed any additional cases, and surveillance efforts are ongoing. Those are the stories from Botswana. Let's have a look at the weather predictions. In economic news, Africa's biggest mobile operator, MTN, is exploring partnerships with low Earth orbit satellite providers to bring internet connection to rural and remote customers. In particular, Group CEO Ralph Mupita said yesterday, satellite internet has become an alternative connectivity solution across Africa, with the popularity of providers such as Starlink, operated by Elon Musk's SpaceX. LEO satellites provide high-speed internet even in areas where terrestrial telecommunications infrastructure such as fiber and mobile broadband is difficult and expensive to deploy. To keep customers and businesses connected at all times, we're going to have to embrace satellite as an additional technology form, Mupita said in a media call. Let's have a look at the economic news stories just before we get into the sport, which is also highlighting the current Over 50 Africa Cup, that is cricket, happening in Namibia.
Yes, a very good morning to all our viewers. My name is Philip Joseph, and today I am currently joined by the captain of the South African team for the Africa Cup over 50. Please introduce yourself.
I'm Russell Bennett, captain of the SAA side.
Okay, Russell, yesterday you guys have definitely had a comfortable win against Zimbabwe. Can you just tell us as to how prepared you guys are today?
Well, I think first of all, we had no injury yesterday, so in over 50s, that's a real blessing. So we start with a fit 14, and yeah, we had a good day yesterday. We don't want to underestimate Namibia today. So yeah, I think it's going to be a great game. Unfortunately, the wicket is wet, so the start has been delayed. But yeah, looking forward to a good day.
Okay, in terms of the weather condition, yesterday was quite a sunny day. Today the weather is quite different. Can you just tell us as to how that will play a role in today's match?
Well, I think we've been here a few days now, so we're used to the heat. Today is a little bit humid, so I suppose the ball may swing a little bit more. So there's that factor. But yeah, we're not too worried about the heat, and we don't think rain's going to play too much of a part.
Okay, Russell, all I can say is all the best for today's match.
Thank you very much.
Yes, viewers, I am now joined by the captain of the home side. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Davi Hartzenberg. I'm the captain of the over 50 national side.
Okay, Davi, can you just tell us as to how prepared the team is for today's encounter?
Sorry, say again?
Could you just tell us how prepared the team is for today's encounter?
Yeah, I think we're good. We had a rough day yesterday. We didn't hit our targets that we set out to us as a team. I think we had a bit of a calmer, better warm up this morning. So hopefully we'll be in a better headspace and put up a better performance than yesterday.
Speaking of performance, could you just tell us how the mood is in the camp regarding today's encounter?
No, we're happy. We're in a good mood, and everybody's in a positive place. We had our discussions after yesterday's game, and we're in a good place. Yeah, we'll pick it up today.
Okay. All I can say is all the best for today's match. Hopefully you guys come out with a win.
Thanks, we appreciate it.
Cheers.
Thanks.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news, and starting off with tennis news first. It's from the ATP Tour Finals that is in Turin in Italy, and it is Jannik Sinner and Taylor Fritz, both of them through to the semi-finals. It's Jannik Sinner that beat Daniel Medvedev by 6-3 and 6-4, all still group games, and then it is Taylor Fritz of America beating Alex de Minaur of Australia 5-7, 6-4 and 6-3, and that is also the two players through in their group. Other four players still in action for trying to get into the semi-finals. It's Carlos Alcaraz playing against Zverev of Germany, and then Casper Ruud playing against Andrei Rublev. So they will fight it out for two more semi-final spots. Moving on to cricket news, it is still England that tour in the West Indies, and it's England that won the T20 series. They won the last game. It is England that won that game by 3 wickets. West Indies batting first, 145 for the loss of 8 wickets, and then it is England with 149 for 7 with Sam Curran, a good performance, 41 runs from just 26 deliveries. On to soccer news, UEFA Nations Cup, and it is Italy and France, both of them through to the semi-finals. That will be played, or the quarter-finals, that will be played in March next year. It is Italy that beat Denmark, a great performance by them. That was a away game, beat them by 1-0, and it is then France that had a 0-0 draw against Israel at home. Also England, they're still in the running to make the quarterfinals as well. They had a good result beating Greece by 3-0. That was at home, and then they play on Sunday against the Republic of Ireland if they win that.
Thank you for staying with Africa Good Morning throughout the broadcast. DSTV 285, GOTV 25, 1up2.com and Network Media Hub on YouTube is precisely where you can find us. From me, Ashwin Berry, and the Africa Good Morning team, Suraj Kanaka.